Question number 6. I've got a absolute value equation. You will also in the test have absolute value inequalities. So think of reviewing that. Here, there is nothing I can do until I isolate this absolute value. Now, of course, in that particular case, I've got 3, 3, and 3. So 3 is a factor I could, and that would be suitable and preferable. Divide everything by 3. They cancel out. Now, for the sake of the problem, of this type of problem, what I'm going to do first is solve step by step all of that. So first, the first thing I'm going to do is to cross over that division by -3. And I would have 6x minus 39. Then I'm going to cross over this addition of 3. I would have 6x minus 39 minus 3 is 42. And finally, I'm going to cross over this multiplication by -3. And I would have negative 2x plus 14, if I'm not mistaken. That's correct. Now that the absolute value is all by itself on one side of the equation, I need to make sure that which conditions are necessary for that equation to make sense. In other words, I need to determine the domain of validity of this equation. So negative 2x plus 14 has to be greater than or equal to 0. Therefore, negative 2x has to be greater than or equal to negative 14. Therefore, x has to be less than or equal to 7. Now, given that, the absolute value equation becomes 2x plus 1 equals negative 2x plus 14. I just remove the bars. Or, not only will I remove the bars, but I'm going to change the sign on the other side. And I'm going to solve them all. Here I have 4x equals 13, and x equals 13 over 4. And here, 2x cancel on both sides, and I would have 1 equals negative 14, which is impossible. Therefore, for this one, x belongs to the empty set. (13 over 4) is 3 point something, 25, and is indeed less than 7. So you do not have to exclude any extraneous solution. You can always conclude to make sure that x equals 13 over 4. But in case in the case scenario that the end result of the main equation or inequality is fitting, is included in the domain of validity, you do not need to be clear, for clarity's sake, to have a last line of conclusion. And that's it. Good luck.